Everybody, my apologies for the technical difficulties. We've just had a huge storm go across the top of our office here at Best Practice. So my apologies for the delay. For those of you that need to go, if you're still live with us, then fantastic. Thank you for your patience. But if you do need to leave and you need to get up from the webinar in half an hour, don't stress. Make a note of the timestamp that we're up to, so where we're up to in minutes. And you can come back to that because I'm going to email you out the webinar recording as we do for all of the webinars. So how are you going there, Jack?
It's coming along.
We've got Jack right here. He's super stressed at the moment. We do test everything before these webinars, and it's when we're trying to run live events, it's amazing the little tiny technical glitches that happen. So we are streaming high definition, so we've got a really great upload speed here. So if you're having troubles with the stream quality, just press pause, let your machine buffer, so you'll see the little, you've got red along the bottom of the screen. Let it buffer and catch up, and then press play, and you'll come back online, and you'll get much better quality presentation. So just let your machine download some of the content, and you can change the quality settings with the little cog. If you're watching in our training academy where you've registered, there's a little watch live on YouTube button down the bottom. You can click on that. That'll take you through to the unlisted link on YouTube, and then you can post comments. We've got a little live chat running, and you can post your comments and your questions there. So how many have we got live? I think if you just hit the back button, it'll take you back to the... Okay, no problems at all. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get stuck into this webinar. We've got some fantastic content for you today. There's a couple of things that I want to just quickly talk about while Jack fiddles with the chroma key behind me. See if we can get that. Is it the magazine causing the problem? It is, maybe. So the first thing I just want to quickly talk to you guys about is Certified Magazine, which is available to download from the Best Practice Training Academy. So grab a copy of Certified Magazine. It's free to download. It's got some great leadership and development and ISO standards type articles with tips and tricks. This is issue 2. Issue 3 is being worked on right now. As we speak, we'll have that out into the post for people that subscribe for the hard copy and out via email around about the middle of February 2018. So it takes a bit of time for us to get all of the content correct, and then get that obviously out to the marketplace. So it's absolutely fantastic. It's lining up to be an absolutely incredible magazine. It's the risk issue. So everything in the thread through the upcoming one is all about risk-based thinking and risk management across integrated management systems, and it's really about using risk management to start to unpack what the priorities are in delivering your business plan, which is quite exciting. So that's all about Certified, so I'll get that out of the way. So there's lots of copies here. If here in the Best Practice office, we've got enough to get us through till the next issue comes out. If you want a hard copy, then send us a quick message today on the side of the chat function. We'll get your details via email, and or if you want to send in something from live chat on our website, and we'll get you out a hard copy. They're a lovely glossy magazine, absolutely fantastic, and they're free. Okay, so what I've got to talk to you about today is a whole bunch of tips and tricks around integrating management systems. And the first thing I just want to quickly talk to is what we're really passionate about here at Best Practice. We exist as a team, which is really exciting, to help organisations to be growth focused, to be profitable, to be safe, sustainable, and really customer focused. And that's what we're really passionate about. And then we have a lot of fun every day doing cool little things for you guys out there in the marketplace that's going to help you guys grow, work on improvement projects, grow the organisations that you work for, and execute on those amazing dreams of everybody in your businesses. So that's what we're really passionate about. It all starts with best practice, and it all starts with looking at what are the things that you can do to keep improving every day. That's what we're passionate about. That's why we do this sort of stuff. I just want to give everybody a shout out and say thank you very much for all the great comments that come through. I've been getting personal messages, direct messages on Facebook. I've been getting direct messages on Instagram. Lots of people connecting with me on LinkedIn, and I am really, I'm quite humbled by everything that everyone's been saying. We're really dedicated to delivering more and more of this content for you guys and helping you guys learn and grow. So that's just the way we do things, is what we're really passionate about. So Jack and I, playing with cameras and software every day to just bring you better and better learning experiences and helping you in your organisation. So really grateful for the comments. Thank you very much. Keep them coming, because they keep me informed as to what people like and what people want more of, which is what we want to do. We're lining up towards the end of 2017. It's been a really fun year here at Best Practice. We've got one more webinar to do before the end of the year. We've probably got, what have we got, Jack? 3 weeks worth of YouTube videos. So we've probably got another 15 YouTube videos coming out leading into Christmas and the festive season, where we'll take a 2-week break. The YouTube videos will keep flowing to you, which is really exciting. So, so while you're on leave and you've got time, if you've got time off over the festive season break, there's going to be a ton of content coming out that's fantastic. Okay, let me just quickly talk about what's behind me. What's over on this side here behind me is our logos, our social media logos, or the social media logos for the channels that we use. I'll just move out of the way. There's Twitter, a bit of Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. What's really cool about Best Practice is we're experimenting with Snapchat, this one that's just here. A little bit of experimenting with Snapchat just to see what we can do there, but certainly there's a lot of stuff happening on particularly YouTube and LinkedIn, and obviously a lot of that stuff moves across to Facebook as well. So if you haven't checked us out on LinkedIn and you haven't checked us out on YouTube, make sure you do that, because there are free learning videos coming out to you guys almost every day of the week. So if it's not every day, it's every other day. My personal LinkedIn account's got videos going up 3 times a week in the LinkedIn, in the video feature on LinkedIn. So great way to just take little 2 and 3 minute videos, because they're average about 3 to 5 minutes max, most of them. It's a great little way to just keep consuming content that's going to help you learn and grow and get some insights into the really basic practical principles that we talk about here at Best Practice. The stuff. No, hang on a sec. You all right? You're going to switch your Wi-Fi to a different. Just talk.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Switch it over to the hotspot.
Okay, go ahead. All right. Just got some more technical difficulties. Just stand by. Okay, we're back. We've got a ton of technical difficulties today, and I'm really sorry for that, folks. This storm that's just gone over our office, they were really big rain drops and lots of thunder and lightning, and I can see out the windows of our office, which are in front of me here behind the camera, this dark cloud that's moving away from us. So it really did give us a hard time, and we've got, we're on the top level of this particular building with a metal roof. So we just got absolutely punished. So it's causing all sorts of issues. So needless to say, I'll let the show go on. So I just want to quickly talk about the stuff over this side behind me, which is our certificates. And that is when someone's getting certified with us here at Best Practice, where we would look at an ISO 9001 management system or 14001, or safety. You've got red, green, yellow, and black there. Black being the new data security standard ISO 27001, which is all about privacy, personal information, and protection of data. Today's Integrated Management Systems webinar is really summarising what the central themes are across those 3 standards, so that you can get a bit of an idea of how to sort of make it efficient. I've got a very practical viewpoint. I run a business, so I've got 35 people here at Best Practice working on a full-time basis. We've got another 30 freelance people running around in all different parts of the world doing work for us. So when I come at these integrated management systems, I'm coming at them from the perspective that I'm the CEO here at Best Practice, and I think about what I want in terms of efficiencies and cost savings and and fun ways to do to do business and really keep it simple. Overcomplicating things makes it very difficult to implement, and so I'm very much top tip number 1 is really about the keep it simple, or the KISS principle, if you like. So I'll go through more of that as we move through the presentation. Thanks, Jack. and we'll go, and we'll start talking about, where we can move and what's going on. So let me just quickly talk about a management system. So here in this business, we've got a business plan. So we get together, the executive team gets together, I lead that executive team. The executive team gets together on a quarterly basis, and once a year, on a quarterly basis, but once a year in one of those meetings, we set our strategic plan for the next 12 months. We have a 3-year plan where we look to a 3-year vision as to where we want to be and what we want to be doing, but we chunk that down into 2 years, 1 year, and then quarters. So I've got a business plan. Now my question is that I ask myself every quarter, how am I going to deliver on these corporate objectives for the organisation? We've got customer objectives, like for example, constantly changing up a gear how we deliver our training content and our quality content and learning content to you guys. So if we go back 18 months, there was a strategic planning session that we talked about running live events. Now in the past, we used to have breakfast sessions, we'd hire a function room, we'd buy croissants for everybody, and coffees, and fruit and breakfast and yogurt and all those amazing things, and we get a great speaker and a presenter, but we were really struggling to have people turn up to our live events. And so we sat down and we set a strategic plan for a much, much higher quality live experience for you guys out there in the marketplace. And hence, 18 months later, well, it's even longer than that, 2 years later, we now have this live event today. So what we've done is, in terms of that strategy, is sitting below that strategy is the business plan. It's got financial objectives and targets, it's got safety objectives and targets for the safety of our people, it's got environmental sustainability objectives and targets, it's got some information security, and so from a balanced scorecard perspective, I have then empowered my team to develop a management system to deliver A, on the strategy, but B, execute the business plan. So when we're talking about a management system, we're talking about the framework of policies, processes, but most importantly processes and procedures used by an organisation to ensure that it can fulfil the tasks required to achieve its objectives. Those objectives are the objectives of our strategic plan. That's how we do it here. It's really simple, and I'd recommend you do the same. We do see in a lot of assessments, and we do thousands of assessments every year when we're on site with organisations, they really struggle to come up with objectives. And we're like, well, don't you have a business plan? Don't you have a strategy? Yeah, we do. Well, what are the objectives and targets and goals of the business plan? That's what we're talking about, to be the premium provider of service in your marketplace, to deliver 20% growth to the top line revenue, to have a safe experience and minimise injuries and incidents in the organisation, to be more sustainable. Those sorts of strategic statements then drop into policies. The policies drop into actions, if you like. So a management system structured and implemented so an organisation operates as a single unit with unified objectives. And I've got some really cool slides. I'm going to show you how we do it here at Best Practice in a couple of slides' time. But really, the bulk of you guys out there are interested in the concept of quality, safety, environment. So I'll talk to those things as we move through. Now, word of warning, don't ever just focus on one management system. Don't ever let one particular topic overtake a conversation. And I've observed it happen time and time again where safety, particularly here in Australia, safety will, people are scared of safety, and so safety will be the priority, it'll be the thing that everybody talks about. Politically, we've got to demonstrate we're committed to safety, but it can often come at the detriment of the financial performance of an organisation. Now, I'm not saying that safety is not important. It is very important. But without stable, sustainable financial performance of an organisation, all these management systems that we develop will be redundant because the company or the organisation will run out of cash and go broke. And so what we're talking about here is the delicate balance between each of the objectives and targets as we move through the different subject matter areas of integrated management system. Thanks, Jack. Jack's stress levels have just dropped now that everything's starting to work, and he's got a smile on his face. So what I wanted to just quickly talk to you here is we put this diagram together just to give you an idea of elements, and some of these elements obviously talk to each other. And what you'll recognise there is that, and we will we will send this presentation out to everybody as a recording. But if you want a screenshot, if you're watching on a mobile device or you're watching on a desktop device right now, screenshot this slide and zoom in on it. Keep it for a record, so it's a really good way to look at, and I'll just move out of the way there. I'm perfect, okay, we're all good. So it's a really good way to sort of conceptualise how a management system hangs together. And one thing that I've been talking about now for about 15 years is how sometimes those elements interact with each other in different strategic ways. So if we just quickly walk around, we've got, and if you wouldn't mind putting the mouse on, if you're able to, Jack, on that screen, you just look at leadership. So we've got leadership over there on the right-hand side. So really starting with leadership, I talked about best practice having these quarterly meetings, and I would highly recommend, quarterly executive catch-ups. If you read the book Good to Great by Jim Collins, he reinforces the importance of quarterly management of organisations and quarterly objectives and target setting and review and tracking and resetting of the strategic direction. So it's not me saying it. Have a look at the book called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And of all of the companies that have been outstanding in the corporate world in the last 50 years that Jim Collins talks about, it's based on research of thousands and thousands of companies. The ones that stood out in terms of stunning performance and sustainability through time, weathering storms, weathering financial crises, they all had a few things in common, and one of the main things in common was the quarterly executive meetings that take place. And in ISO language, we call that management review. So I talked there about leadership. I obviously talk about leadership setting policy, being an org chart, and then it's obviously, position descriptions there, which is just here, position descriptions. So when we talk about that, that sort of frames up leadership. Now, if you just look closely at that slide, I've thrown a few black arrows in to just show you the very high level strategic plan, do, check and act that goes on through a management system. Now there's obviously all the other elements, and I've hung those together. So what one might say is if really simply, if you're going to be assessed by us here at Best Practice, so if you're looking to get ISO certification or you have ISO certification and you're thinking that Best Practice might come out to help you, this is the types of elements that we would be looking for evidence in. So we're looking for evidence and artifacts, or you proving that you've addressed these elements of any of the ISO standards. So these are the headings out of the new Annex SL that are behind me up here. We've taken the headings. I've got ISO 9001 right here. So if you went to the contents page of, this is my dog-eared copy of ISO 9001 that I read every day. If you went to the, sorry Jack, I'm moving forward. If you went to the headings in the contents page of ISO 9001, 2015, 14001, the environment standard, 27001, the data standard, the new 45001 OH&S standard that will come out in early 2018, the headings are all the same. So it's the best time in history, like right now is the best time in history to be looking and revisiting these standards and following the integrated management systems approach. In fact, I have one hope, and that this will be one of the last times that I will have to demystify integrated management systems, because in 2018 it'll be the very first year where the quality, safety, environment, information security and all the other management system standards come together in the same format, with the exception of Section 8, and Section 8 is where you do the doing bit for each of the subject matter areas like quality, safety, environment, and we can talk more about that later on. In fact, if you want to learn a lot about Section 8 of any of those standards and how to do it, we've got a couple of great courses, in fact 3 courses over on our training academy. You can go onto our website, click training, and just drop down to the training courses, and we've got courses called ISO Essentials. So there's an ISO 9001 Essentials, there's an ISO 14001 Essentials, there's a 45001 Essentials, and the ISO 27001 Essentials course is being recorded as we speak, and we'll have that out early, probably towards the end of, probably towards the beginning of autumn in the Southern Hemisphere's spring. Hopefully we'll have it out in the spring for you guys up in the Northern Hemisphere. So you'll be able to look at 27001. So getting into the nitty gritty of what each of these elements talks about, the place to go is jump on our website and go and subscribe for one of those training courses. They're absolutely fantastic, and I'll go into a lot of detail. Okay, so moving on. So what we can see there, I just want to take you through the rest of that black arrow, Jack, from planning across the operation. That's where we're looking at, from planning through support, obviously, because that's all of our resources. They're the people and the equipment that we use to do our outputs, to operation, then up to performance evaluation. Now, if you had a question, you said, hey, Kobi, what is the most important element on this particular slide? I will say till I'm blue in the face, the dashboard. The dashboard is your dashboard of statistics, your graphs. They are fundamentally the most important part of your management system. So humans are genetically evolved to be looking at tweaking and improving performance and responding to external indicators. Now, there's the caveman theory. We won't talk about that. Let's talk about modern day. If you're driving a car, you literally are driving looking at a dashboard. The dashboard has got temperature, it's got RPMs for the RPMs of the engine, it's got speed, it's got fuel. And so when we're looking at that dashboard, we're constantly managing our vehicle on a journey from place A to place B. And I did an interstate drive a couple of days ago. It was 3 hours of driving, and I had to plan my fuel consumption and my speed. I couldn't go over the speed limit, so I needed to comply with requirements. There was legal requirements where there's a speed limit. I need to have a license, so I've got to have training and competency. I've got to have all those sorts of things to set up and drive the vehicle. But most importantly, I rely on the dashboard, the indicators that are in front of me, to measure and track and deliver on my objective, which is to get from point A to point B in a certain amount of time. I didn't rely on the manual in the glove box. I didn't rely on my competency training, and I needed it, but I wasn't referring back to my training and competency in my driver's license. I was using my dashboard day to day to manage my performance. And the fundamental mistake that all of the organisations that we assess on a day-to-day basis make, like 80%, is they're thinking that they need to drive their vehicle reading the manual out of the glove box. But it's not the case. In real time, in real life, we're constantly using that dashboard that's in front of us. So one thing I want you to consider is, if there's one thing that you take away from this presentation, is the importance of looking at a dashboard, and ideally take that manual, take that document, that policy manual, that quality manual, that safety manual, and put it in the bin and focus on your graphs. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox now, but it is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and that's that topic from that slide. Okay, let's move on. Okay, what are the common struggles? Look, this is something that, again, I'd recommend if you're on a mobile device or on a desktop machine, screenshot this slide. They're the struggles. It's easy to do the first 20%, but after that it gets really hard. That's the Pareto principle of 80-20. Silos still exist. And as we have individuals in organisations that become increasingly specific in safety, environment, quality, like safety managers or environment managers or quality managers, they traditionally have found it hard to manage the other subject matter areas, particularly if you're an integrated management system person. Or you're the quality manager and the boss throws you the environment system to look after. I hear you, I hear your struggle, you're not alone. Safety takes over in every discussion. Now, a lot of my career history is from the mining industry and the heavy construction industry, and it certainly has been an observation of mine and a weakness in those industries where they take their eye off the financial dashboard to focus on safety. And while safety is a very important emotional issue, it doesn't allow the financial management system to earn the respect or be respected in the way it deserves. And so all I'm suggesting here is that we need to be very careful as we integrate management systems that each subject matter gets its appropriate time for risk management. Okay, core business just doesn't get included in the system. And we've had a whole bunch of questions today about how to write manuals and how to manage integrated management systems. And the observation that I've made across the top of the thousands of assessments that we do every year here at Best Practice is that it's a very common theme that the business plan and the directors of the organisation sit very separately from the management system team, and the strategies don't talk to each other. And so that can be a challenge in a lot of organisations where the executives, they haven't been effectively communicated the value of the management system. They may have been communicated and you're very frustrated that they won't listen to you, and I've got a tip for you on how to manage that as we move through the presentation, but often the two things sit separately. The management system gets developed just so the auditor can certify it, and the systems manager and the auditor talk to each other, but the director's like, sorry, I don't have any more time for this audit that's going on, I've got to go and run the company, and the two things sit very separately. There's a bunch of other points there. Environmental management never gets a look in, poor old environmental management. It's only the thing that we've only got one of, that's the earth. It's only the most important thing that there is, because if we don't have the earth, we won't have companies and money and profit and safety and all that sort of stuff. And it's not a priority for the organisation. And we do see that time and time again. Lots of people getting certified just to get the tick, not really truly leveraging the value that's there. Okay, what else have we got, Jack? I'll try and move quickly through this. There's obviously a whole bunch of benefits. The first benefit is saving money because you're not duplicating tasks. There's obviously duplication there I talk about, gaining commercial efficiency. Pattern recognition, you know, the benefit of pattern recognition across your dashboard, and I'll show you that shortly. Strategic management of business risks, strengthen business resilience, and obviously prioritise improvements. Thanks, Jack. Okay, so what does a dashboard look like? Now, I said before, the dashboard, in my opinion, is the most important part. Now, with a good quality dashboard, your organisation will grow, because there's this concept of what gets watched gets managed. And so it's very much been the experience here at Best Practice for the last 5 years. We've been managing our own dashboard, and I'll show you that in a second. But if you start to look at getting a clear picture of what's going on, then you're going to have the ability to manage it. So I would recommend stop writing policies and procedures, stop reviewing documents, and work on your dashboard. Work on an opportunity that you have right now to get a very, very clear picture of your organisation's performance in the areas of risk that you're exposed to. And all the new standards talk about risk-based thinking. Now, as you build that dashboard, you can build some stuff on quality, you can build some stuff on safety, you can build some stuff on environment, you can build some stuff on financial. They're here above me in terms of headings. So again, this is another one of those screens that you can screenshot. A Google search to see a balanced scorecard dashboard or an integrated management system dashboard. If you head over to Google, do you want to do that now, Jack? We'll jump over to Google and we'll do a quick Google search for you. Just change it up a gear and we'll have a look at what we get when we do a Google search. So I think if you throw that over on top of the PowerPoint slide, maybe. Okay, we're just going to bring up Jack's desktop. We're just going to do a Google search. Okay, so we're just going to do a quick Google search, which will be integrated management system dashboard. Now, I don't know what's going to come up, so I'm testing myself here. So we do these Google searches here every day at Best Practice, and we click the Images tab. See the Images tab there? And it's going to bring up all those examples. So let's just have a look and see what's there, Jack. Okay, so let's just, I don't know, pick one that you think looks good, something that's got quality, safety, environment on it. Yeah, one like that one. What's that one? That looks like a piece of software. What else have we got? So just doing a quick Google search, integrated management system dashboard. In fact, Googling any of the documents or the processes that you need to implement as part of your management system, you're going to get great looking images that are going to give you a ton of great ideas. Good ones and bad ones, and you know, stuff that you like and don't like in terms of developing your management system. Okay, thanks, Jack. So great little Google search there where we can just go and we can actually have a bit of a look. That's how we learn here at Best Practice. And I don't know if you watch any of our other videos, but everyone jokes I've got my Google Cup because that's what we do. Okay, let's move on. So I think the dashboard is something that's really, really critical, and obviously, some really simple indicators that you can use to track your performance, customer satisfaction. If you have good customer satisfaction, the financial stuff will work. If you have good quality safety, then you won't have stop work, and you'll have the organisation performing sustainably into the future. If you have environmental sustainability policies in place, you're going to save money on disposal of waste. There's lots and lots of initiatives in all of your industries that are proof that an integrated management system is a great way to go. So a quick Google search on any of those questions you've got is going to reveal some fantastic responses. Okay, now what we wanted to just quickly do was show you our dashboard. Now we are here at Best Practice real life humans, and we try to walk the talk on a day-to-day basis. So this morning, Beck as we're putting together the presentation for you guys, she's taken a picture of our dashboard. Now what you'll notice down here is there's some cells missing. Now it's because it's real life. We set this up, we had the signs printed, it's been up on the wall for about 5 years here at Best Practice, and we've been doing graphs the whole time, and progressively our dashboard has become more concise as we've moved across. Up there's stuff on financial, there's marketing, there's sales, there's business, and we've reserved this spot here, which is just here, for some safety statistics. We have a really good performance here from an OH&S perspective at Best Practice, an environmental perspective, and so we're going to start promoting that. So we're guilty of not, putting those numbers up, and as a lot of organisations, so that's our opportunity for improvement. So what I hope you'll see in some of our YouTube videos over the next couple of weeks is we're going to get around to that, and we're improving this organisation all the time. And so, for us, it's about walking the talk. But these graphs, I talk a lot about them in our YouTube videos, that we've got these 30 statistics. We've been doing it for the last 5 years. And so people can walk up and have a look at, what's going on. In the last 24 hours, we've been discussing a couple of statistical theories around what's happening with the data on those graphs. And that's the most exciting part of this. We've got a better ability to predict how we're tracking with things like Elliott wave theory. So if you've got a pen and paper handy, do a Google Images search of Elliott wave theory. And it's used in financial markets, and it's used in financial performance and analysing data, but it's a statistical and mathematical principle that's been mostly used in financial markets, but we've now seen on some of these graphs, particularly the ones down the bottom there, in the middle, that we just went, oh, what's going on with Elliott wave theory? We walked up to our own statistics and we went, oh my God, it's right there in front of us. So from an Elliott wave theory perspective, we can also see Fibonacci retracements. So have a look at the Fibonacci curve if you haven't heard of the Fibonacci curve. And so when we build the dashboard, we collect the data and statistics, we get much, much better insights into how our organisation's performing, and we get to have some fun with things like Fibonacci and Elliott wave theory. So, trends analysis, and ultimately that's about trends analysis and how things trend and how data trends. Now, without that focus of attention and work, we wouldn't have the ability to be able to predict how we're going to travel. We would be constantly developing policies and procedures. So what I'm saying to you is stop putting effort into developing policies and procedures and getting anxious about everything needing to be documented, and focus on the concept of driving a car. You don't constantly pull the manual out of the glove box to drive your vehicle. You focus on your dashboard. Yes, it's if you want to know something specifically about your vehicle, yes, you might go to the manual from time to time to do something specific that you don't do very often. But most importantly, focus on the dashboard. With one disclaimer, I have to say this disclaimer because I know the haters out there and the trolls out there, they give me a hard time about this all of the time. If there are external stakeholders, and each of the ISO standards talks about external stakeholder analysis now. If you've got external stakeholders like customers or regulators for your organisation who specifically require in a document or a standard or a guideline or a law documents to be produced, then you'll need to produce them so you can continue to operate. But do not go and produce thousands of policies and procedures because you think that one of the ISO standards requires it to be produced. Go into the standard and specifically check yourself and assure yourself that the things that you're producing, the standard is saying to produce it. Now, we see time and time again too much money and too much time wasted generating thousands of documents and not enough time in section 9, which is improvement of the ISO standards. So section 9 in the new standards, which are in Annex SL, is all about improvement, focusing on monitoring and measurement, and dashboards, in my view, is the most critical part to track the performance of the organisation. Okay, thanks, Jack. I just wanted to show you one more slide. The two slides sit side by side. These are all okay, so my apologies. We've just had another glitch with electricity and technology here at the Best Practice head office. It's quite a hectic day out there. Mother Nature's giving us a hard time. What I just wanted to show you here was the team job descriptions here at Best Practice. So we don't put as much effort into individual position descriptions as some organisations. We work in teams, and the teams have a set of objectives. They have a set of responsibilities and objectives. So the way these documents are structured is that it's all the team tasks and the things they need to do, and then down the bottom here we have their management objectives. And those management objectives are measured on the previous dashboard. So we focus on the dashboard, then we give people a bit of an idea about what their position is on, say, the football field, for example, where all the players play, and then we can drop down and be a little bit more specific if we need policies and procedures for any of those tasks. But here at Best Practice, the focus is on the statistics and the dashboard, not on producing documents, policies and procedures. So I have obviously a very alternative view. My objective here is to help you grow an efficient organisation that is sustainable and safe and exciting and a fun place to work. And the numbers that we're delivering here at Best Practice in terms of growth are proof that our approach works. So if you want to have a discussion with me about, and you want to challenge me on that, and you want to understand how I'm thinking and how it's working, DM me or send me a personal message on LinkedIn, and we can have a conversation. Or we can comment on some of the videos on our YouTube channel if you want to challenge some of those theories, because it's a great discussion. And if I'm wrong, then talk to me about it. Talk to me and show me the evidence. Okay, let's move on. Okay, we talked, I've got to move quickly because I appreciate your time and thanks very much for joining us. I just want to point out here that the hierarchy of control is a great principle that we've been using here with all of our clients, talking about how to manage risk. And I just want to draw your attention, and obviously it's been a campaign, is that here is administrative controls, and they are one of the least effective ways to manage issues and risks in an organisation. And it's this principle, the hierarchy of control, that sits behind my concept that I'm preaching around don't develop documents, don't produce manuals, don't produce policies and procedures. People get too caught up in, what structure should I use? How should I write it? What should it look like? And they don't focus on the high-level risk management. Just spend the next week in your organisation working out what things could kill somebody and cause a fatality or really hurt somebody, and focus on the way that you're going to manage that particular issue. Spend part of the week on what you could do to improve the customer's experience. Spend some time thinking about how you could improve your environmental performance, and look at, can you eliminate issues? Can you substitute them? Can you have engineering controls? Don't go and spend the time writing documents. So I just want you to, the new standards and integrated management systems are about an outcomes focus. Focusing on the outcomes. What are we setting out to achieve? What are the amazing things that this organisation can do for the community and do for us? Let's focus on those things, and then use the hierarchy of control to have effective methodologies for delivering those amazing objectives that you have for the organisation. Thanks, Jack. Okay, so where could you start and what could the process be? I think for systems managers and for you guys out there that are watching this webinar and watch any of our YouTube videos, the one thing that I've been focusing on myself is this really important issue around the concept of inspiration. Now, I want to use the word inspire, and I want to talk to you about the opposite end of a pendulum, where you've got inspire at one end and you've got manipulate at the other end. If you've got a complaint that leadership's not on board, it would be wise of you to consider how to be more influential. And obviously how you can go about implanting the value drivers and the benefits, because you know the benefits, we know the benefits, and we share a common belief around the benefits of having integrated management systems, but we might not have the attention of our leaders in the organisation and maybe not the support of our leaders. And so it is important, if that is the case, that tip number one from me is to work on elements of being a more inspiring leader and manager in your organisation. So I've got a book recommendation for you. There's a great book out there. It's small, it's fantastic. It's called Start With Why by Simon Sinek. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a little tiny book, and the great part about that little book is it's also narrated by Simon himself on Audible. So if you haven't got Audible, it's a fantastic way to listen to ebooks. So getting yourself a copy of Simon Sinek's Start With Why. Don't cut corners and get a book review off the internet. Just buy the book, get a pencil, make notes in the book as you're reading it. It's a fantastic book. It will change your life. And in executing and implementing some of the concepts in that particular book, it will build you out to be a more competent and a more inspiring leader, and you won't need to resort to manipulation to achieve the objectives you want to achieve, particularly where you're talking about looking at and working out what the value and benefits are for the decision makers and leaders in your organisation. Obviously, get to know the standards. Again, we've got that great course on each. We've got an individual course on the standards there on our training academy. I think there's a discount and a discount code for you, and over on one of the final slides we've got here and in the invitations to this webinar. So take advantage of that discount, because I think we've bundled all the 3 courses together for integrated management systems. And when we add ISO 27001 course, once that's finished in February 2018, you'll get that course for free as well. So if you purchase the offer today, once that course is finished, I'll add it to the subscription that you've signed up for today. Okay, so then drafting up a map of the matching elements. You can copy the one that we had a couple of slides back. We will email out you the recording, and you can stop the recording at the particular time where you see that slide, screenshot it, that's your map, and then you can move through your risk management process. Now, most importantly, I think, process number one is to be, the most important thing as you look through that process is to be focusing on your dashboard. If you put an amazing dashboard in front of the directors and leaders in your organisation, I guarantee that they will be on board straight away. Because as the leader of this organisation, it's very difficult for me to manage on a day-to-day basis when I'm blind. And when I can see numbers, and when people show me numbers, then I will respond instantly. And that is an important part of this process. It's an important part of management systems. So focusing in that area, that could be the shortcut to not reading Simon Sinek's book, Start With Why, would be to focus on your dashboard and building an even better quality, not more apps, not more software, a better quality report with better quality data, and presenting that to the leadership in your organisation. Okay, there's a bunch more that you can screenshot this and read through them. And I've said there at point number 8, avoid writing policies and procedures. I think I've said that enough. I've probably upset everybody, but that's certainly something that to be thinking of into the future. Okay, what else have we got, mate? Okay, the do's, obviously setting a vision, having smart objectives and targets, one dashboard with all the important stats, one management review quarterly management reviews. Don't come on and comment on our YouTube videos that you think an annual review is enough. If you want to get your leaders on board, and if you want your management systems to deliver serious results and a serious return on investment, go with what I'm saying works. One place for all your guidance material. Here at Best Practice, we have a Google site. So it's an intranet site that's built on Google. And then one risk management framework, one meeting agenda that gives enough time, not necessarily equal, but enough time to have individual topics of risk, quality, safety, environment discussed, and then obviously separate policies and plans for external distribution where customers require it. Let's move out of the way. That last point is about customers and stakeholders and legal agencies, not the ISO standards. Okay, thanks, Jack. Okay, top focus points, leadership and influence. There it is. That is my absolutely most fundamental focus point. It's what we're trying to do with our certified magazine for you guys. Get a copy of Certified Magazine. It's free. You can download it from our training website. You go to the Best Practice website, click on training, hit the drop down, and you can download Certified Magazine. That's all about improving and enhancing your leadership skills, and it's free. Learning the art of internal concept selling and pitching ideas, and it's an art and craft, and it's definitely something that once you get to understand those leaders and the people that you need to get on board, then you're going to understand the unique little ways that they like to be shown new ideas and concepts. It's about all aspects of the organisation. Don't leave any teams out in a silo. Think about how you can avoid duplication of process. Strategically centralising your business risk management is probably the most important process. So you take those quarterly sessions. Maybe agenda item number 1 is to run a SWOT analysis. And if you want some help running a SWOT analysis, we have a great team here at Best Practice called Next Practice. And Next Practice will come out, the senior guys from Next Practice will come out and work with you on strategic risk management framework. They are facilitators. They will take you through an agenda, and you guys will do the work. They'll bring it all out of you in a structured way, following the intent of the standards, so that you can empower yourselves to do that work. And it's about centralising that strategic business risk management and bringing senior leadership and the management system via the business plan, strategy and risk framework into a thing like a SWOT analysis, and then you guys can start to use the hierarchy of control to decide how you want to manage your organisation. So those strategic facilitators at Next Practice are great for that, and I stole these points here on this particular slide from one of their presentations, because that's what it's all about. So look out for Next Practice. Issue 1 of Certified, we'll get that back up on the Training Academy website. It's a great article on how Next Practice work in that. Okay, thanks, Jack. Okay, questions. Now we had a couple of questions, a couple of them off the top of my head. One was about how to approach the development of a manual, policies and procedures. Now, I've made myself pretty clear on what my opinion is there. However, I appreciate that some of you do want to still develop and maintain those things. Now, my one single piece of advice is just make it really easy for everybody. So don't change the language. The new structure of the ISO standards has a great little format for the planning elements of the standard. If I read out the headings, when you go through any of the standards, we're starting at clause 4 with context. We're talking about leadership, planning, support, operation. It's talking to how the organisation you're working with or working for does those things. Really simple piece of commentary. But don't do it for your external auditors. Now, yes, we've got a ton of external auditors here at Best Practice. They're trained to figure out what's going on. You don't need to write a quality manual for them. I train our team here. We do a monthly training. It's a full 1-day monthly training course every month here with our assessors to train them to be really fast at picking up what's going on. They don't need a quality manual to conduct the audit. They want to see that you're implementing your business plan. They want to see your dashboard. They want to inspire you to be running your organisation so it will grow, be profitable, sustainable, a lot of fun and very safe. And that's what they're passionate about. That's the people that have come and joined us here at Best Practice because of our passion and because of our cause. So when I talk about the things to focus on, yes, of course, if you want to develop a manual, a simple way to develop a manual is do a Google search. You'll get some ideas, follow the subject matter headings, and just talk in commentary or paragraphs about how your organisation addresses the intent of each of these clauses. Obviously, I've spoken about it before. If you want more information on what is the intent of these clauses, then grab the ISO Essentials courses that are coming up in one of the slides. All right, that's the question. I've answered that. That's the one from this morning. Got that. Are there any others? Yeah. I've covered all that. Yep. What about Bex? You got any? So if you've got any questions now, I'm going to hang around on our live chat. So if you jump onto the bestpracticecertification.com.au live chat, so jump on our website, there's a live chat little button down the bottom. There's 2 live chats. There's a live chat on our main website, click on the Training Academy. So there's a training button at the top of our website. That'll take you through to the Training Academy, and there's 2 live chats. I'm going to hang around for the next hour to answer your questions, and we'll go backwards and forwards. And for those of you that have done webinars before, I do make the odd surprise phone call and call you and have a chat. So if you want to talk to me specifically and talk through what's happening, send us a message and send your phone number in, and if I get time, I'll give you a buzz, and you can have some of my personal time. It's free. I'm really inspired to help people, so if there's anything that you'd like me to clear up, anything that you want to discuss, then drop your phone number through on that live chat and I'll give you a buzz. Yeah, if there's any questions that you've got, hit that live chat facility through on our website. Go and check out the training store. There's a whole bunch of free stuff in there. There's free checklists, there's gap analysis stuff, and there's a bunch of great courses. This is just an example. Can you just go back a slide for me, Jack, and just show them the button? So this is obviously the store. It comes through from our main website, and there's your training journey. This is where you sign up. We've got more webinars coming up. So keep an eye on this website for the different webinars. So down here, that's just an example of a button that you can click to get a webinar. There's the magazine across the other side, certified. That's the button you click to download the free certified magazine. So jump across over there, and then you can download that stuff. It's like literally instant. So there's stuff you buy, you put your credit card in, and you can purchase the courses, and there's obviously a bunch of stuff there that's free. So that's the Training Academy, and there's a live chat down the bottom of that screen when you jump across onto the Training Academy. Okay, oh wow. You guys are going to send me broke with these discounts. Okay, so what you can see here, it's not a $15,000 training course that's online. It's really good value, this bundle offer that they've put together today. So we just thought we'd put all the essentials courses together. And what I will do is I will throw in ISO 27001 when it comes out on the spring if you buy this offer today. So if you buy this offer today, I'll keep track of it. And then when we add ISO 27001 in the Northern Hemisphere spring or the Southern Hemisphere autumn, so the beginning of 2018, that little course will pop up in your little dashboard. You'll get that one for free, so I'll throw that in for you for staying with us while we've gone through our storms and technical issues today. So that's a fantastic deal. Now the cool thing about these training courses is once you buy this course, you can actually then come back to it. So it's not like a training course where you go and sit in a room. Everything we do here at Best Practice gets recorded and it gets kept, and you can come back to it. So this webinar, you'll get the recording. It'll be emailed out to you. These courses, they're there for you to log back into at any time. And what we do is we freshen up the content from time to time. We add more training, we add more documents. So when you buy ISO 9001 Essentials, you'll get the updates. So it's like a subscription to get unlimited updates as we change and update that content in those products. So it's a lifetime course there, and it's absolutely fantastic. So we're not going to keep that offer up because it's significantly discounted. So I'm going to leave it there for probably about 24 hours, and then we'll go back to our normal pricing. So yes, it creates a sense of urgency, but it's one of those things that we do here at Best Practice to give you guys a discount for participating in the webinar, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so thanks very much, everybody. Hit the live chat on our website. If you want to see any more great videos from us and you've got suggestions, things that you could maybe use in your organisation, Jack and I are always looking for suggestions for great videos. So if there's a video that you think would be great for us, something that you want us to talk about, that gives you a video on YouTube that you can share with your team members in toolbox meetings, in training, with your directors, any of that sort of stuff, then let us know. Send us a message and say, hey, a video on such and such would be fantastic. This week we did a process flow and risk-based thinking for a bank. So a bank, a guy that's working on a bank, in a bank over in the United States, sent us a message and say, could we map out that process? And we did that. So there's a great video that's just popped up on our YouTube channel this week that's worth watching. And you can see how Jack and I sort of cover that stuff live. So thanks very much for watching. Thanks so much for the comments. So thank you very much for participating with us here at Best Practice. The YouTube subscribers are growing really, really quickly, so that's some great encouragement for us. So if you're not subscribing to our YouTube channel, then jump across onto YouTube and check out the Best Practice Certification YouTube channel. We're having heaps of fun with it. There's lots more great stuff to come. We've got a whole bunch of great stuff that's going to come out over the festive break that happens at the end of December and into the new year. So look out for that, and lots of great stuff coming in 2018. So a couple more webinars left. One last final point with regards to webinars. with importantly, if there's anyone that you think that needs to participate in these webinars, please send, when you get the invitations via email, send the links out to them so they can register. We'll get their details and we'll get them into the pipeline so that they're getting all the information they need. The dates for the upcoming webinars for early 2018 will be published in Certified Magazine. So if you want to know what other webinars we're planning to produce, we plan them 6 months in advance. They get published in the magazine, and that's the inside the back page is the place that you go to get the webinar dates for early 2018. If there's a suggested webinar topic that you like or you would want to hear more about, then let us know and we can plan that in for the middle of 2018. Thanks very much, everybody. My name's Kobi Simmet. I'm the CEO here at Best Practice. I'm the YouTuber that talks about ISO 9001, risk-based thinking and information and management standards and leadership and development. We have a lot of fun here at Best Practice. We are Best Practice. Check us out on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and if you're really interested, Instagram. And we will see you soon right here at Best Practice TV. Bye for now.